Is Jalen Milroe a first round pick? Is he worth a first round pick? Will he be a first round pick? That is a lot of the topic right now when I scroll through X, over there on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I'm Cody Carpentier from the draft rankings, of course, and rosterwatch.com. And I'm here to talk about Jalen Milroe. It's beautiful Monday. We are exactly 66 days away from the 2025 NFL draft, where it'll take place in Green Bay. I'll be in Tampa Bay covering it with the player profiler team on behalf of rosterwatch.com. Jalen Milroe, though, will he be a top 10 pick? Everybody's aware of the athleticism trait that Jalen Milroe carries. There's some rumors he might run sub 4.4. Will he run 4.38, 4.37, 4.35? Will he light Indianapolis ablaze? A few years ago, I vividly remember watching Anthony Richardson at the combine throw the football, right? And he's got a cannon. He goes in there, he throws the football, nearly touches the roof. Hypothetical there. Not hypothetical, a little exaggeration there. He ends up being the fourth overall pick by that team that watched him in that stadium. He ran the 4.43, 6'4.5", 244 pounds, 40-inch vertical. We expect Jalen Milroe to be, athletic. That's not a surprise. There should be no surprise that Jalen Milroe goes in and runs let's just say he runs a 4.39. But the problem is he's 6'1.5". He's 220 pounds, which is fine. He's got sub 9-inch hands. He doesn't, like, Kenny Pickett was sub 9-inch hands, right? Kenny Pickett hand size was widely conversed. He had 8.6-inch hands. Jalen Milroe, 8.6-inch hands. So he's got that working against him. When you want to talk about, here's the other side. People a year ago, I vividly remember this as well. J.J. McCarthy. He goes 10th overall last year. He's the fifth quarterback off the board to the Minnesota Vikings. It was kind of a late rise. But what was McCarthy known for? McCarthy wasn't known for a special trait. Now, Milroe carries a special trait, which is his speed, his athleticism, dynamic ability, the Lamar Jackson allure, where he can grow as a passer, like Jalen Hurts has grown as a passer every single year, literally since he got to college. Lamar Jackson, the same can be said. He's got that one trait, right, that can take you to the next level. The thing is, here, again, we got 10 minutes. I'm going to do this as fast as I possibly can. It's a 40-minute show type conversation right here. Lamar Jackson in college did not just throw the football. He rushed for 4,000 yards and had 50 touchdowns on the ground. 4,000 yards with 50 touchdowns on the ground. When you look at Jalen Milroe had 1,500 yards and 33 touchdowns. Yes, touchdowns are impressive. He had 20 this year. But 1,500, he was a clear 2,500 rushing yards short of where Lamar was. So it's not really that elite of a trait. You remember how elite Lamar's trait was? He won the damn Heisman and was the last pick of the first round. When I look at, I brought up J.J. McCarthy a minute ago. J.J. McCarthy a year ago was battered, screamed at, battered. He, again, wins a national championship. Jalen Milroe did not win a national championship. J.J. McCarthy wins a national championship. He's got a 72% completion percentage, 332 pass attempts. That was the big thing, right? This guy hadn't thrown the football very much, 330 pass attempts, blah, 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 blah. We need to see him throw the football more. He didn't play enough games. 22 touchdowns, 4 picks. 22 touchdowns, 5 picks. 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. That's 11 interceptions in 3 seasons, 40 games. 11 interceptions, 49 and 11. Jalen Milroe, in 34 games, has 20 interceptions. He had 11 just this year. So J.J. McCarthy had 11 in 3 seasons. Milroe had 11 just this year. 16 touchdowns, 11 picks. Like I just said, J.J. McCarthy had 332 pass attempts in 2023 before he was drafted 10th overall. And he was yelled at. Nobody has said this about Milroe. Milroe has 324 pass attempts this year. 324 versus last year, J.J. McCarthy had 332. And McCarthy was yelled at. In 2022, McCarthy had 322. In 2023, which would have been 2 years ago, Milroe had 285. Milroe has had fewer pass attempts in each of the last 2 seasons than JJ. Well, JJ doesn't have the rushing ability. JJ's not an elite rusher. JJ had 161 rush attempts in college. I know sacks count. 632 rushing yards, so nearly half the rushing yards that Milroe had, and 10 rushing touchdowns. He's not a zero in the rushing game. He also doesn't, it's not the same trait, right? It's Lamar, Milroe, then probably JJ, then you got these, then you like there's levels to it, right? Milroe has the special trait. I get it. But we haven't seen anything through the process. We haven't seen enough at Alabama. We didn't see enough at the Senior Bowl. He's supposed to have this big arm. And to be quite frank, the last handful of games for Milroe in college were not a testament to this kid's going to be a superstar. This kid is trending up. The thought was the same thing I said about Anthony Richardson when he came out. I love projecting a quarterback. There's nothing I love more at the quarterback position than projecting, right? Obviously, I've missed on a couple guys. I've missed on Will Levis. I've hit on Patrick Mahomes. I've missed on Malik Willis to a certain extent. That you hit and miss on these guys that are projections a lot. So nothing I love more than a projection, and I can project Milroe to some high upside. But I also remember those numbers I just read off. Jalen Milroe, 324 pass attempts, 285, 11 picks this year. Malik Willis, 339 pass attempts, 265 his last 2 seasons at Liberty. 12 picks that last season at Liberty. Rushing for Malik Willis, 878 on the ground, 13 touchdowns, 944, 14 touchdowns, over 2,000 yards on the ground, and 30 rushing touchdowns, 29 to be exact. Jalen Milroe is a lot closer to Malik Willis. More dynamic of a rusher, I get it. He's a lot closer to Jalen Milroe than he is Anthony Richardson. Sorry, Jalen Milroe's a lot closer to Malik Willis than he is Anthony Richardson. We know he's going to run sub 4.4. Just keep that in the back pocket. Don't overreact next week when we get to the NFL Combine. I really like Jalen Milroe. I think he's a great dude. I think he's got everything on his shoulders. He's a project. He's a developmental quarterback. He's not the 3rd best quarterback in this class. He's not the 4th best quarterback in this class. Don't draft him that way. This is where you can evade using a 1st-round draft pick on a Jalen Milroe. Don't. If you're the Raiders, take him in the 2nd. If you're the Saints, take him in the 2nd. Take him in the 2nd. Jalen Milroe is going to be a good quarterback. He has potential to be a good quarterback. You can project it. Fewer pass attempts than J.J. McCarthy each of the last 2 seasons. The same amount of interceptions last year that J.J. had in 3 years. And striking similarities to Malik Willis from a statistical standpoint for Jalen Milroe. Do not be allured by a 4.3, 4.40. He's good. He ain't a 1st-round pick. That's the draft rankings for today, Monday, February 17th. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow morning. It's a big week. Combine, just a week away.